Jim, the Long Beach NAACP has gone on record as officially supporting Ms. Angela Davis. The former UCLA philosophy instructor has been charged with buying weapons used in the Marin County shootout, in which 2 black men and a judge were killed. Ms. Davis has been claimed her complete innocence, stating that she is being persecuted because of her blackness and political beliefs. The basis of the branch's support of Ms. Davis stems from a report submitted by the Legal Redress Committee chairman. In this report, the chairman, Bob D. Duran, stipulated that in researching all available information concerning the Angela Davis case, this committee sincerely believes that unless the following precautions are adopted in the legal prosecution of her case, her trial will only result in her repression, in her becoming a further victim of America's legal system's suppression and repression of ethnic minority individuals and groups who are opposed to the Reagan and Nixon administration in particular, and the American system of government in general. Swan, President Long Beach Branch NAACP. In terms of how they've been exposed to this type of society. And I don't feel that they would be able to step outside that and to render a just verdict.
Mr. Swan, could you describe what a member of her peer group would be? Would he have to be black? Would it have to be black and under 30 or black and under 30 and female? How narrowly defined is her peer group?
I think that someone that would be typical of her peer group would have to be a black individual that has had a chance as a result of living in a black community to develop a black frame of reference as a result of his involvement in this society. And I think that in terms of age, a person can be old and young, but if a person is interested in change, then I think that person would be considered as a peer group in terms of age.
Well, I think that first we must begin to deal with the term black community. We must deal with the term community. You know, a community is not necessarily a particular geographical area. You know, a community encompasses certain ways of looking at life, certain attitudes that you hold in general with other people. And I think when we talk about the black community, even though there's no liberated geographical areas within the United States, we do have a concept that flows through the so-called black communities in the United States, where black people have a situation in San Fernando State. I think at basis, this condition resulted from the fact that we have black studies departments at San Fernando State, and we have a isolated Mexican-American studies program. And I think that the administration's efforts at that school to sort of like keep these two factions fighting for the little federal funds or state funds is allocated for the different programs, sort of like stimulated the reactions that took place. And I think we must begin to look at the causes of that particular incident and recognize that racism, even though it's not necessarily a conscious type exclusion, can evolve from a particular situation, like at San Fernando State, where there's not enough funds to go around, and the Mexican Americans and the black are pitted against each other for obtaining these funds. And this will create animosity between the two groups. And this is not necessarily racism.
You indicate that it wouldn't have been better for her to stay here if she hadn't done anything, according to you.
Well, see, I have not violated Ms. Davis's presumption of innocence. So therefore, I do not even deal with an assumption that she fled the state, because I feel that this is an assumption that has been fairly concluded, that has been unfairly concluded by the Nixon administration and the Reagan administration.
Or as far as you're concerned, she was merely on vacation in New York City.
As far as I'm concerned, she is.
Or she may have been wearing a wig or any other kind of false disguise.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Necessary precautions to ensure that Ms. Davis will receive at least a fair and just trial. A, that a change of venue be granted to an acknowledged black community in order to secure an impartial and fair trial. For local newspapers and other public communications media have violated her presumption of innocence. B, that the trial judge be an accepted representative of the black community. C, that all jurors be representative of her acknowledged lifestyle and acknowledged peer group. And D, that Ms. Davis be allowed reasonable bail and permitted to assist actively in her own defense.